So you know, I gotta have a cup of coffee before I get this video started. All right, let's go get the video started.
For the crawfish they bought in Araby.
Hello everyone and welcome to Exploring the Boot. Today we're about, I don't know, 5-10 miles from the New Orleans line, which is right across the river over here. Right in front of my face is the Creole Queen, and they're getting ready to disembark now. But so this is video number 5. So we're on the Mississippi River, checking out the sights and the sounds, and right now we're at the Chalmette battlefield. So let's go take a look around and see what we can see. So they're taking the ropes off, getting ready to move. So yeah, check out this old mansion. It's in disrepair now, but this is the Beauregard house. So let's walk around and take a look and see what we can see. It's steps from the Mississippi River. And it's basically inside the Chalmette battlefield. So let's take a look. So yeah, everything's boarded up. We just had one huge storm, so I'm gonna try to quickly walk around here without stepping in serious water and nasty mud. So yeah, everything's boarded up. Look at the overhead. So yeah, I think it used to be, at first it was a mansion, and then it ended up being a museum, and then in Hurricane Katrina kind of did it in, and it's never been in operation since then. So anyway, it's a pretty neat house. See the oak trees in the back. All right, moving on. And I don't know if you can see the smokestack, but it's moving. So they're headed back to New Orleans. So basically this mansion predates the Civil War. Some people say it's haunted. But like I said, it was burned in 2013. Look at this fantastic tree. It appears that lightning or something hit it. You see the two big limbs that cut off right there at the top? So here's some information about what took place here. And we'll talk about it more as we keep walking. But we're just steps from the Mississippi River. All right. So as we get further and further away from the river, getting closer to the battlefield, look at all these live oak trees. Look at all the moss hanging from. You can hear the chip horns blowing in the back of me, the river boats. So here we are, the Chalmette battlefield. And this is basically a little store and information center. So let's go walk and look at this monument. So here's a little history of the Chalmette monument. At one point, you was able to go through those doors and go all the way to the top. There must be some work that needs to be done, and so all the doors are closed, but nevertheless, it is pretty fantastic. So there in the distance is the Beauregard house. So but now we're over here in the battlefield. So let's go take a look at it. Let's look at Cannon. So this is pretty much where the battle took place. The Battle of New Orleans is where it took place. Majority of it. So let's go walk and take a look at it. So it's interesting to come out here, I don't know what, hundreds of years later, and look at where a battle took place. Let's take a look at this cannon. Is that impressive? So, you know, can you imagine in this area, there's the Beauregard House, and there's over 8,000 British troops sitting in this area waiting to attack. They wanted an element of surprise. Pretty crazy. And Andrew Jackson had roughly 4,000 or so troops. And so they wake up that morning, that foggy morning, and they realize we just made a serious mistake. Basically, when it was all over, the British lost over 2,000 soldiers, 2,000 lives. And Americans suffered only, well, not only, but they suffered 50 to 70 casualties. So it's kind of hard to think that that took place right here. But nevertheless, it did. So, I don't know, I just wanted y'all to check it out. Look at these different cannons. And I think every so often on the anniversary of June 8th, the date for them would be June 8th, 1815, they do a reenactment of that battle. And again, if you look over there, matter of fact, you see, let me just zoom in. Over that way by the house, there's a smokestack of another ship, so you know you're not that far from the Mississippi River. So every year, as far as I can remember, they do a reenactment of that battle. So anyway, that was pretty neat and interesting to take a look at this area here. Let's see if we can get a little bit higher bird's eye view, because right here, the Americans, they had a pretty good height advantage, elevation, and those British soldiers were basically sitting in that moat there. All right, moving on. So I'm not gonna get too close, but you see this house right here? Is that fantastic? This house is the Creedmoor Plantation home. It was built in 1842, and there was a movie that was filmed here that was pretty interesting. And that was The Last Exorcism in 2010. So I want to respect their privacy, so I'm not going to get too close. But this is it. This is the Creedmoor house. All right, moving on. So continue on in St. Bernard Parish. I decided to come down here. I guess more towards Chalmette or further in Poydras is what it's called. I think so anyway. But there's a museum down here and I wanted to come check it out. So let's take a look at this here. I think it's a library. So let's kind of pan over. That's pretty nice. And here's a plaque here for it. Let me zoom in so you guys can see. All right, continuing on. So here it is. It's a living museum of the people's heritage in this area. So I'm gonna try to pronounce the name of this place. Maybe, or maybe I'll let you guys just figure it out. No, I'm gonna go with a no. So you guys can figure out. I think it's Islamos. Maybe, maybe not. So let's walk around and see what we can see. So yeah, there's supposed to be some structures on here, a fairly old cypress tree, and just some information and buildings from that time, or just replicas. So let's just take a look. All right, that's very pretty, huh? So it looks like it was built in 1840, then rebuilt in 2010. I'll get a quick. Here's the plaque. So yeah, we'll make our way towards the back and see what we can see. There's nobody out here. It's for some reason, I think I love coming out. Look at that little bell. I guess that's the fire alarm. I think I love the heat for whatever reason. I think it's like 98 with a heat index of 98 or some crazy crap like that. So, yeah, pretty crepe myrtles. So we're gonna do a quick little walk back here. Like I said, there is nobody out here. I'm basically by myself. So we're gonna look at these structures. So we'll go back here and see. So here's the first one. Here's the center. And I'm gonna just pan around. So that one there is just the actual center of the place. And here's a little info. I think the sun's kind of washing it out. So let's continue to walk. Look at this little neat place here. That's fantastic. All right, focus in a little bit better. Let me see if I can peek in here. Oh, okay. It looks like a bar. Yeah, I see Crown Royal. I see a piano. All righty. Well, that's pretty neat. Keep moving on. All right, some more crepe myrtles. I don't know. We'll catch the one behind me. This one here. That'd probably be the one I just left. Oh, watch out for snakes too. So here's another one. So I guess they're just replica of the early 1800s. That's a nice little house. And here's a sugar kettle. That's pretty cool. All right. So here's another one. Let's see what this is. Okay. This is the house and the kitchen built in 1790. You believe that? They restored it really pretty. 1790. So we keep walking. See a little chimney up there. And I would look in the inside of them, but they're all boarded up. I know we're right on the cusp of hurricane season, so I guess they figured go ahead and board it up now. And I would imagine if they had a heavy crowd of people coming through tours, they would open it up. And this house was built in 1890. I think, okay, this one's not boarded up. Well, the shutter's closed, but we'll walk on the backside and see. So let's look at this here. It's hard to see these signs. The sun's really beaming right now. All right, so let's go up here. All right, let's see if we can see in the inside of this house. So this house is built in 1910. Let's see if we can see. Oh, wow. Can y'all see? See the old walls? Man, is that fantastic? Yeah, I would imagine when it's cooler, they have it open. But like I said, there's literally no one out here. But yeah, look back there. Look at those old walls, the old chair. Look at the old floors. Fantastic. Let's go this way. Okay. Now the piano. Right about now, somebody opened that door and I'm not expecting it. That would be very interesting, would it? All right, pretty neat. Moving on. So yeah, there's a bunch of property back here. It keeps going on and on. Ooh, that was a big bird. We're gonna walk back here to this structure. Look at this little hut. Y'all see this? Is that neat? I ain't going too far in there. But that is fantastic. Again, watching out for snakes. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, keep going. All right, guys, this cypress log here is believed to date back anywhere from, well, I'm sorry, not date back, about 2,000 to 2,200 years old. And the way they can tell that is by the inside of the rings of how old it is. Let's get it. They got it covered up and protected, rightfully. Ooh, attacked by a bee. Let's look at this side. See, it's kind of rotten out. It's hard to tell. Let's see. But that's it right there. Wow. So this is about 2,000 or so years old. Isn't that something? Somebody's feeding a cat or something out here. All right, let's keep moving on. So this must be the old plow, I'm guessing. Do a garden or something like that. So let's walk on the backside. So like I said, we're only about a couple of miles from the river. And so if you happen to be out this way, you can check these neat structures out. For back in that time, it was to basically preserve their heritage. And so I think there's a total of 9 structures I counted out here. And just come when it's cooler. And hopefully they'll be open. I think they are. I think they do private tours. You just got to call ahead of time. Alrighty, moving on. So like I said, we're only about a couple of miles from the river. And so if you happen to be out this way, you can check these neat structures out. For back in that time, it was to basically preserve their heritage. And so I think there's a total of 9 structures I counted out here. And just come when it's cooler. And hopefully they'll be open. I think they are. I think they do private tours. You just got to call ahead of time. Alrighty, moving on. All right, guys, right here on the river, we have Domino Sugar, American sugar refiner. So check out this refinery up here. Is that fantastic? So anyway, this place is the largest refinery, I can't remember, in the Western Hemisphere. And I think it's over 100 years old. So I won't be able to go too far, but look, the river is right here. And let's get a good picture of this sign here, Domino Sugar. All right, guys, I appreciate you following along on this River Road adventure. We only have one more, and that's gonna be basically the city of New Orleans. And that's a wrap from the boot. Until next time, see ya.